Konnichiwa, my name is Logan Charles Luna, and this video is going to be about pro wrestling. So, I'd recorded the entire video already, and I drew this Ben Reilly Spider-Man in a luchador style with the shooter pose, like he's about to shoot in for a takedown, and the file got corrupted. It just doesn't add technical difficulties, therefore it's already done. I'm not going to draw them again. I mean, I use this moleskin sketchbook that I do mainly just for warm-up and practice sketching. I've used it for some of the other YouTube videos because I just don't want to waste like time instead of focusing on certain stuff, like when I'm doing character designs, when I'm doing like the fashion outfits, and when I'm doing like fan art that like I want it to look good and be at a certain standard when it's in my own art style, or when it's in the more like cute kawaii art style that I have. I'm trying to differentiate and go back and forth between this more like serious like 90s OVA anime style and a somewhat more relevant I guess anime figure cute girl art style. You know, there's really no name for it. It's just gonna be like whatever art I make. So yeah, again, I did a whole video, it didn't work, and now here we are just to kind of, I'm gonna speed run it. Been watching pro wrestling since I was a kid. Got introduced to it when I was living with my grandma because of the old El Santo movies where he would fight a myriad of monsters, including the daughter of Dracula. And I really fell in love with Lucha Libre. And then when I came back to the States a few years later, well, a year later, and I was living with my dad, he would just like, you know, get these VHS tapes, and they'd be movies most of the time, but sometimes I'd get like a WrestleMania, and I got to watch Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, and that was the first Macho Man Randy Savage match I'd ever seen. That was the first WWE thing I've ever seen. It wasn't the full WrestleMania, it was just that match. And it was great, and I loved it. And I love Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth, and you know, I was just kind of like a little Macho Man Mark. So I never liked Hulk Hogan. I always thought Hulk Hogan was the bad guy. Like he's trying to fuck Randy Savage's wife. Like, dude, what the hell is wrong? Like, that's the storyline. It's not, oh, he's just a good guy. No, he's legit like trying to fuck his wife, and then he gets mad and challenges him for the championship at WrestleMania, where he beats him and takes it away from him. So, yeah, never liked Hulk Hogan. Never liked Shawn Michaels. I liked Shawn Michaels' work when he came back to pro wrestling and what he was doing in the early 2000s. That was great. When I was a kid watching Shawn Michaels, I was like, this guy's a douche, like a real life douchebag. Like, I don't like him. I don't want to see him. His matches were like over the top. They weren't bad, but it's like, okay, buddy, turn it down a bit. And like Shawn Michaels selling is over the top and cartoonish and wacky, and it feels like a comedy match, but I'm supposed to take it seriously. And for people who disagree, just watch Dolph Ziggler or Trent or Chuck E. T when they take that bump in the corner and they flip like all the way around and then they go flip back up. It's like, that's a Shawn Michaels spot, and it's ridiculous. And I think Beretta and Chuck E. T do it on purpose as like kind of like a gag. Like, this is crazy because Chuck E. T and Beretta are like big dudes. So it doesn't make any sense that unless the guy looks like Wardlow or he's strong like Cesaro, they're not going to be able to like flip them in the corner that bad. So it's really kind of goofy. And I hate how Shawn Michaels and a bunch of other wrestlers, and not just on Shawn Michaels, but they made it acceptable for the super kick to be a finisher. It's not a finisher. It's a setup. It's a strong strike. It's like to the most part, it could be a signature move, but mainly the super kick is a counter. And the super kick is more to wear down and beat down an opponent, so you beat him with something like a backdrop driver or a power bomb or a DDT. Also, I feel like those moves should have been protected more, but for whatever reason, and it's not just America, like Japan did it too, where it's like they just overdid it and overused them for near fall spots that they just became regular spots. But in all wrestling matches, even though the story of big bombs and finishing moves like that being near falls is that they usually would take out an opponent until the opponent learned how to get stronger and survive that move or counter it. And, they just had more heart, like, I'm not going to lose this time again with the same move. And just kind of to pivot off of that now, New Japan, a lot of problems during the pandemic. Pandemic really messed everything up for a lot of pro wrestling companies. WWE, I don't really keep up with it. I keep up with the New Day and Bianca Belair and stuff like that because they're fun and interesting wrestlers and performers. However, shitty their storylines are at times. Like Big E's WWE Championship reign was kind of just filler. It's a filler arc. And that's disappointing because I love Big E and I love the New Day. And once again, Brock Lesnar just comes in to end the reign of a New Day member as a world champion. So you better watch out, Xavier Woods, because if you win the world championship, Brock Lesnar is just one phone call away from coming in and ending your reign. So now, moving on from that, they're not pro wrestling. They're sports entertainment. Their words, not mine. Literally, WWE is trying to sell themselves as a media content company. So, whatever, that's fine. I want to watch pro wrestling. I'll go to Stardom. I'll go to Pro Wrestling Noah. I'll go to AEW. AEW has a lot of problems. Not just the stuff that happened between Tony Khan and Big Swole, but yeah, like the women, they need more time. They need more matches. I really felt like they could have done a best of 7 series with Serena Deeb and Shida rather than them just keep rematching each other. Because usually they don't do rematches, but they're starting to do a lot more rematches. Like Sammy Guevara and Cody, it kind of makes sense because Cody's like the TNT belt has always sort of been this open challenge. And Cody's story is, I'll give someone a rematch because the TNT championship is supposed to be opportunity. Miro, on the other hand, was like, this is my God-given right, and I will destroy anyone who tries to take this away from me. And I love Miro. I hope he gets well soon. It looks like he's probably out, maybe due to injury. When in the Bryan Danielson match he had, he was taped up, so maybe just nursing that. To end things off, I want to talk about New Japan. Mayu Iwatani, Starlight Kid, in that fatal 4-way that New Japan had for night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom 16, it was really great to see them. Like, they're 2 of my favorite Stardom wrestlers. And seeing them, like, they, again, didn't get that much time. They only got, I think it was 7 minutes. But they did the best that they could in that 7-minute match. And those 4 are amazing. There are no 4 better women's wrestlers in Stardom that could have given you that quality of a match than those 4. They're like the 4 pillars of Stardom. Although, New Japan has this weird, Fantastic Four thing where it kind of goes back and forth. But really, right now, the ace, Okada, is back to form. He's kicking ass like he should. And he's the champion, even though he has that stupid belt. But it was really amazing watching him retire the Version 4 IWGP Heavyweight Championship because that belt is synonymous with him. Because he's held it the most. He's had the most title defenses with it, and he should be the one to take it out in the back and put a bullet in it, and that's what he did. My favorite Wrestle Kingdom match from both nights, Desperado versus Hiromu. Just Desperado, no pun intended, but desperately holding on to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, hoping to main event one day one of the Wrestle Kingdom nights with it. And that's the same hope and dream Hiromu has. And Hiromu is the face of the Super Junior division, but this was Desperado putting his foot down and saying, I'm the champion. You're not just going to take this away from me. I earned this. You have to kill me if you want this. And that was amazing, and I love that. And the match was very Lucha Libre heavy because both of them spend their excursion over in Mexico, and they adopted the Lucha Libre style, and it works for them, and it's great. So really looking forward to 2022 pro wrestling. I love it. It's great. It's escapism. It's like a real life comic book come to life. It has all that sports anime drama. It feels like you're watching all the fucking Rocky movies in a marathon. You love it. Even the stupid wacky shit, you love it. Shout out to DDT and Gotcha Pro. You guys really made the pandemic more, you made it more fun, more enjoyable with your wacky antics. Chris Brooks and the sex doll, you know, continuing on the tradition of Kota Ibushi and the sex doll. And Minoru Suzuki just being great. Maki Ito, cutest in the world, best girl of pro wrestling right now. I will, however, say my favorite wrestler of 2021 and still kind of is of 2022 right now is Hiromu Takahashi, the ticking time bomb. Love that dude. He's amazing. His matches are always great. Desperado, though, he's getting up there. Like, Desperado's doing fantastic work. Alright, that's where I'm going to end the video. If you guys want to see more of my artwork or my fan art, head over to my social media, Instagram and Twitter at LCLX25. If you want to get, you know, exclusive stuff on character designs or get exclusive access to my manga, stuff like that, you could go over to Patreon. Or if you just want to like support my artwork, you can just go over to Patreon, sign up for that. And yeah, this has been Logan Charles Luna. Sayonara.